the people of Afghanistan don't like the U.S. occupation, but they certainly don't like the Taliban either.
Right.
Yeah. And they want to build a democratic Afghanistan. And the reason many American young people are joining the military is because they don't have jobs. They can't get education. Same thing with the Taliban. That's why people are joining the Taliban, because they're paying. It's a paying job. But the people of Afghanistan do not want the Taliban to come back into power. Not all of the people. Not all of the people. Every of the people I've talked to, they want to build a democratic Afghanistan. So here's our next speaker, Debra Sweet. I don't know what democratic means. You know, we don't have a democracy here. Yeah. But what they want is a government that's by and for the people.
Yeah.
Which is
like what we should have.
in direct opposition to the government we have here in America.
I apologize. I was on the phone with the biggest newspaper and television network in Pakistan, Dawn, and we're going to do a group effort to report back to him on what happens with this, because he said it's very important. They're very interested in what we are doing and why we're doing this today. I'm going to do my announcements first. If my calendar is correct, Piece of the Action starts 8 weeks from today, Saturday, March 13th. 8 weeks from today. I know I've talked to people today that are going to be there, but we have to organize for this so that there are a lot of people there. Heading into March 20th, which is the major anniversary protest of the Iraq War, Saturday, March 20th, we all better bring about 50 people back with us to the mall for Saturday, March 20th. I want to give a shout out, first of all, to the people of Haiti. And I know without even asking you all that your hearts are broken and you're very concerned and worried for the people of Haiti, and I hate to lay this on you, but your government is not really. Your government is looking at this as a huge opportunity to re-globalize and wrap up the economy of Haiti and to take 10,000 troops in there. Why is the 82nd Airborne going into Haiti? Yeah. The tip of the spear regiment? The people that fly in first and establish a beachhead in any enemy situation? Why are they being sent to Haiti? Where the people need rescue and the people need money and they need medical care. They do not need the U.S. military, which has not trained to do that and has nothing to give them. I want to give a shout out to my friends from Witness Against Torture. It's so globally important what you guys are doing in challenging the 8th anniversary of Guantanamo. I'm going to be back again next week to end the 2 weeks with you. But know that people are watching and people are writing to us about what you're doing, as well as following your reports every day. And of course to Cindy, who's been the heartbeat of the revitalization of the anti-war movement. In many ways we would not be here without her if she hadn't done what she did in 2005.
Thank you, Cindy.
And where she is. So she's being interviewed, of course. And a shout out to everyone who went on the Gaza Peace March. I know there's at least several veterans of you all here. Thank you for doing that. This is a vibrant movement, even though it's tiny. A reporter asked me today, well, what do we do about reviving the peace movement? What about the people who went out and worked for Obama? Is there room for them in this movement? Well, I know there's people here today who worked for Obama. Of course there's room in this movement. Many of us said all along, let's don't go down that route. He is not going to take us where we want to go. This is not going to be the kind of hope and change we need. And you know what? I think those of us who said that 2 years ago have all the more reason to say it today. 43 years ago, I was protesting the CIA. When I was in high school against the Vietnam War, do people remember what the CIA did then?
The Bay of Pigs protest.
I mean, we could give a long list of all the crimes carried out against the people of the world by the Central Intelligence Agency in our name. This is the first time I've ever gotten this close to protest it. And I think this is a historic and important effort that we're taking. But we have to be completely systemic and systematic in looking at this. The CIA has one of the drone programs. The military has another. We know that they've used these drones in at least 5 countries. Syria, Yemen, Pakistan. And they're being fired from all over the place. And they've brought Blackwater into the machining of this. They've brought private contractors into building the ovens that get sent over to bomb other people and to kill civilians. I don't think we can separate either the torture, the drones, or the killing of civilians any little bit from the whole injustice of this illegitimate war on terror. We in World can't wait. We call it the war of terror on the people of the world. It has a lot of different parts to it. It is all unjust and immoral and based on projecting America's might and domination against other countries and wrapping up the whole Middle East, oil included, to be used therefore against the people of the world. And this is why we're against, on principle, these occupations, the torture that is an endemic part of it, and all of the bits of the weapons they use. There is no humanitarian aid going to Afghanistan. And if there is, it is about 1% by budget. It is being used as a way of trying to indoctrinate the people of Afghanistan that the Bush administration, I call it the American Taliban, and I'm not the first to say that, who ruled this country for 8 years, is somehow better than the Taliban that was homegrown in Afghanistan. And I really agree with what Cindy had to say, but I'm going to go further on that question of the Taliban. You have 2 outmoded systems that work here. The imperialist system at which we sit at the center, which has nothing to offer the people of the world that's good, which is eating it up. And you have the other outmoded system of Islamic or any kind of religious fundamentalism that, number one, oppresses the woman. Let's be clear. Religious fundamentalism, whoever does it, oppresses the woman first. And this is utterly unacceptable if we care about humanity. Neither of these outmoded should be supported, because if you support one, if you support the U.S.'s unjust, illegitimate war against the Taliban, you end up strengthening the Taliban in Afghanistan. This is why people are gravitating towards the Taliban. At least they're not dropping unmanned drones on them. And if you support the Taliban, in a funny kind of way, you end up supporting the United States. Because you end up supporting this imperialist system.
The U.S. occupation. Obama's not bringing the troops out. We're not getting them out. The Taliban are going to drive
Let her
us out.
speak.
Well, that is our mission, sir. Our mission is to choose neither side. Our loyalty is to the humanity of the world. And the people of Afghanistan, Pakistan, Syria, Yemen, all those 198 men being held in Guantanamo right now, 130 of them cleared for release, who should have been gone. They should be with their families in Yemen and elsewhere, and even in the UK. All of this is part of this unjust war on terror. We have to take it as a whole and thoroughly oppose it. We have to be the voice coming out of this country, as diverse as we are, from the revolutionaries like I am to the religious people who follow through on their convictions, to people of different religions and different national origins who happen to live in this country and say, we do not want this direction followed by our government, and we're going to stay with our principles all the way through and stop this illegitimate occupation and torture for empire.